Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's hump day.
Woo-woo!
Woo woo.
Whoop, whoop.
Welcome. Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday. It is indeed hump day, and it is indeed a Sprints and Shoptalk per Catherine's pitiful request.
I was very sad and tried to be very, emotionally manipulative about it.
Yeah, she gave me the baby eyes, and how could I resist? It was a please moment, and so I was like,
It was.
okay.
You're welcome, everyone.
Today we're going to be sitting down. I'm going to be interviewing my 3 co-hosts, and also everybody who is here in the comments. Feel free to respond. I have 3 questions. There's no guarantee we're actually going to get to them today, all of them, because I do have a time in which I will be signing off because your girlie is going to the airport today and she's got a lot of stuff she has to do. So, but before we jump into our first sprint, and then after our first sprint, our first question. Well, first of all, today's topic is brain rot because a lot of us present are dealing with brain rot. And I feel like we might have talked about this before on a Sprints and Shop Talk, but we're talking about it again. But yeah, how's everybody doing today? Cowboy Steeg?
Yeehaw. Just, them culty vibes.
Nice. Devesha?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking. I'm trying this thing where I eat breakfast and see how that helps my energy level today.
What?
I'm going to go on a very uneducated guess and say that it might help.
Who knows?
Who knows?
What is the breakfast of choice? What's your breakfast of choice? A Negroni Spagliato.
A Jimmy Dean's breakfast bowl.
Ooh, lovely.
Which is the Negroni Spagliato of breakfast food.
Yeah, it's got like potatoes and eggs and sausage and bacon.
Katie Ann?
I am doing good. I went to Dunkin' this morning. So I'm prepped. And while I went to Dunkin', I drove around a little bit and listened to my playlist. So I'm like ready. I'm in the mood to write. We're doing good.
Excellent. I'm also doing so well. I'm so excited to get to work this morning. Katie, Devesha, can I talk about our situation?
Yes, please.
So,
pregnant?
one more time.
You're all pregnant?
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, no.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Running.
Yeah.
Decided to all get pregnant together.
Yep. Yeah. The 3 of us are attempting in between now and June 10th, and don't ask me why June 10th, but now and June 10th, we are all 3 of us attempting to fast draft stories. Devesha is working on a story that she has been diligently working on for a while now, but Katie and I are both working on absolute brain rot. And so that's what inspired today's Sprints and Shop Talk. And I'm so excited to dive into my brain rot. And that's actually what we're going to talk about. It's like before the first sprint, if people are willing, we'll just give a little bit of a what is your current brain rot? And it doesn't need to be a whole big description because it's like question. It's like a pre-question. It's not even question 1.
It's filling out your name on the sheet.
It's a precursor. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Steeg, I know you're currently trying to avoid a little worm in the back of your mind right now so that you can focus on the cowboy book, but would you like to talk about what is rotting away at a corner in your brain?
Actually nothing, so.
Okay, I know for a fact that that's not true because you've been talking about how the fact that you don't want to write your cowboy book anymore because there's this other thing that you want to work on.
I mentioned it once. I don't think that qualifies as brain rot, but I'm firmly
You
back on
mentioned it at least twice.
Yeah, at least twice.
Firmly back on the
If not
train,
3.
cowboy train, ready to be robbed.
Okay, well, then we can have the cowboy train be your brain rot topic of the day because technically, if you think about it, the cowboy book was brain rot that you then dedicated yourself to initially. So consider the cowboy book when you were thinking about your answers to all the questions today. Okay?
Fair enough.
All right, Devesha, do you have anything? I know you are being like responsible and sticking with a project during this fast draft that you've already been.
But I don't wanna. I want to be irresponsible.
Well, I mean, we're only 2 days. This is the 3rd day of the fast draft experiment. If you do want to switch over, do you have a brain rot to switch over to?
I have plenty of pieces of brain rots, but nothing that's currently embedding itself.
Yeah.
Nothing's hatching in my brain, you know? I'm not exuberant about anything like you are with your brain rot.
Do you have an example in the past of something that was like that for you, even if it's not like that anymore?
I would say maybe Le Six or Croix. That was definitely brain rot. That gave me the same.
Okay. All right. And then Catherine, I'm assuming, is admonishing Blue for something. So I'll just be saying that my brain rot that I'm currently working on is an alien romance inspired semi by the Taylor Swift song Down Bad, and also inspired by a old story. Well, as I think it was Miranda that termed it, an old maladaptive daydream that I used to have when I was in college. So thank you, Miranda. And then Katie Ann, would you like to talk about your little piece of rotten brain?
My brain is always rotted. That's just kind of the problem with me, is because I'm terrible at commitment. However,
would we call it a problem when your brain rot turns out to be gold? Turns out to be the golden goose.
Blood and
you
gold.
know,
Oh my God! I cannot believe you just said that to me.
I totally can believe it. That's too good. I love it. It's too good.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, well, okay. So my brain rot in a nutshell. Sorry, I'm getting boo-boo cheese here because we just came in from outside. Is sapphic werewolves, so paranormal romance, wolves, they're girly pops, and this book has no plot. And I call this one brain rot because I should be writing a different book in the series, the first book in the series, but I'm not. I'm writing book 4. So.
I love this comment. We think it's brain rot, but it's actually just a unicorn going in. Anyway, yeah, if you guys, forget what we're talking about, the thumbnail today is your typical Sprints and Shoptalk thumbnail, but with all of our brain rots accounted for, except for Steeg's. Apparently, I should have just had cowboy stuff instead of mummy stuff, but it's fine. All right. Let's say hello to everybody. Hi. I'm just gonna keep doing this. The Spirits of Shoptalk edition. What a treat. Neon Moon. Yes, these are the vibes, Neon Moon. 100%. For me, at least. Flora, hello. Kagehima. Cage, hello. Elena, hello. Wendy, hello. Hello, Camels. Mullen says, just on time. Whoop, whoop. Happy time zone. As a patron saint of brain rot, I approve of this stream topic. Excellent, Mars. Do you currently have a brain rot project going on? Let us know. How's everybody's MCR going, by the way? Yeah, I made this joke in the chat already, or on the Discord channel, but unfortunately, the Chaos Queens have shot themselves in the foot with one of the entertainment options, because if you attend a Chaos stream during May Chaos Reign, that means that a clown is the entertainment for your party. And I'm sort of like, I feel like I have to boycott the May Chaos Reign streams now because I refuse to have clowns at my parties. So anyway.
Okay, then Wallace, you really should not be at the Troublemakers because we're all clowns.
It's a different kind of clowning. They're the ones who made it metaphorically legitimate. It's a clown at my metaphorical party, and I don't like it. Mullen says, I'm happy to talk about the same topics twice anyway, because often we formulate new opinions on them as time passes. So true. Wendy says, brain rot is an ongoing thing, so talking about it more than once makes sense. Oh, so true. My rotted brain is awake. I love it. Okay. To be fair, Miranda is the one who definitively suggested this as the topic. I should have given you credit where credit is due, Miranda. My apologies. Mom says, oh, Anna, just the person I would talk to about my brain rot. Ooh. Have a new one. We need to chat soon. Hello. Talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, chat here.
My brain rot is me back deep with my fandom OTP and brainstorming a fic for the first time in years. Oh my gosh. Can we have details? People, I'm asking for details here. I feel I need a definition of brain rot. Okay, I think everybody has different definitions. because like I know one of the common ones is when you feel like you should be working on something else, but then another idea that's maybe a little ridiculous comes into your head and you just can't let it go. But although I was going to say that doesn't really apply to me in my story right now. For me, brain rot is literally just that second half where it's like your brain just won't let go of something. But I guess there is another thing I wanted initially to be working on. I planned this summer to be working on a specific story, and now this other story has surpassed it in my creative energy. And so I guess it does qualify for the brain rot terminology. Mar says, City of Blood was promoted from brain rot to, oh, this is one of the questions, was promoted from a brain rot to actual project when I drafted it. Luckily, the brain rot position has already been filled by something that I'm actually brainstorming as we speak. Stieg, is your brain rot the sci-fi? Because yes. I feel like the sci-fi was the first thing I ever knew Stieg with.
That's what was I was writing when
is
we got
correct.
together. My fateful day.
Remember when I made you that
Atlas.
tracker? Remember when I made you the tracker for that project? I made it in Canva and I sent it to you because you were trying to. I don't know if you remember that.
Why do you ask me if I remember anything, Wallace? You know I don't remember anything.
You had commissioned art of it. You had commissioned art, and I took that art and then I made like a tracker where each circle
Right.
was-
Now I
Mhm.
remember. Thank you.
Yeah, that tracker unfortunately did not breed reality, but that's okay. Miranda, but that was before the tracker breeds reality epic quote, so I feel like it's fine. Yeah, I made the mistake of going back and reading what I had for Oh No last night, and I was like, oh no, this is kind of good. So it's not the brain rot, but maybe one day it will be. That's fair. Hi, guys. Hello. Mon says, yeah, it's not gold. It's a holographic because a unicorn. He says, my brain rot project is a nightmare blunt rotation of the Saga Scratch fic I'm outlining, the Heidi story, the Jim Got series, and the DBH rewrite that'll never come to pass. That, oh, wow. Wow, yeah, that's a lot to have in your brain all at once. Oh, also totally told someone at work I had a personal call at 3 p.m. Sorry, you come here on time.
I mean, we are a personal call. So.
That's so true.
We are. That's not a lie.
It's you and your 22 closest personal friends. So prompts only count if you want them to. For example, I'm drinking water and staying hydrated, but there's not sparkling water at my party. I'm too committed to the bit, Mars. I'm too committed to the bit. I am co-hosting another one of the chaos streams, and I'm not going to count that because I feel like co-hosting is different than attending. So anyway.
I agree with you there.
Thank you, Devesha. Wendy says, yes, that's why I was asking. I think some people, it's only for things like fanfic or things that won't or can't go anywhere. Well, it's whatever you want it to be. And we'd love for you to give your definition of it. Let's let that be the pre-question number 2 during our sprint, which we are about to get started, I promise. Everybody give us your personal definition of brain rot, but let's make it a bit of a challenge. Let's get a little creative. Give us your definition of brain rot, a little bit like slam poetry, a little bit like 5 words or less.
Bitch, what?
Like the idea where it's like you try and take a concept and you know, even if it doesn't make fully grammatic sense, you're trying to reduce it into a certain amount of words. Yeah.
Okay.
How many words do we got?
5 words or less. What is brain rot to you? Gay says, if you get possessed by an idea that either grabs you by your brain or your heart and it doesn't let go, and when it does, it's like a Russian sleeper agent code activating, that is brain rot. Okay, that was more than 5 words,
so
but you didn't know.
No.
Wait, what?
It's
What?
above Gay's thing, I think.
Oh, it was an at, so I didn't read it. Oh, okay. It's a fantasy, so I'm gonna need to do some world building, but essentially romance with a side of monsters, and my main character is in a hot arranged marriage she dress. I'm so here. Arranged marriage trope is so hot with that tension and forced proximity all baked in. You know that meme where it's like the children yearn for the minds? The adults yearn to eradicate dating culture.
So true.
Seems to be a lot of love for the remaining. Yeah. Like I said, I am like a supermarket rotisserie chicken aisle in there, all in there taking turns. I love that as a metaphor. Any project
So
you brain hard to obsess over it enough. Projects you shouldn't think about. Perfect. Perfect. I'm a wordy bitch. I cannot do under 5. Yes, you can. Because guess
do it.
what? Guess what? We are writers. We are creatives. This is the assignment. This is an assignment every creative arts teacher has given. Okay? Do it in 5 words or less, Mars. Do it. I love this. Brain go, brrr, life good. I fear I've never had Brainrot. It sounds fun though. Can I buy some at the Brainrot store? I love that. Brainrot, too tasty to deny. I love this. You guys are doing so good. Let it go. Can't. Won't. I love everybody. I love everybody's using exactly 5 words. That makes me. That's so amazing.
It's iconic.
Mars, don't you want to be part of this enjoyful? Did I just? I think I just invented a word. I love that word. Enjoyful moment.
Shakespeare Mo.
Let me get a timer up. Hex hourglass. Oh, we're gonna do the Jod. I need an alien timer.
You need a what?
An alien timer. What'd you think I said?
I thought you said Indian. I was like, what?
Well, I think
What does that even mean?
we're gonna do cowboy timer for Sieg because I don't think there's one that matches any of our other brain rots.
She has a wolf one.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna let Sieg have his moment, and we'll do wolf later.
It's fine by me. I'm just saying.
What, Stieg? What?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
I was trying to be nice to you.
And I was trying to not be mean back.
Okay. All right, here we go, guys. 25 minutes. I'm gonna work on Project Down Bad. Bye. Okay, well, I did want to keep going, but I'm putting people out of their sprint misery if they are in such a misery. I did extend the sprint by 3 minutes because I was just, I was so feeling it. In that roughly 28 minutes, I got 800 words.
Ooh, slay.
Amazing.
Should have kept it going.
I know. I'm still so like I could have kept going. That's the thing about Brainrot with me, and that's also the thing about taking away expectation. Like I recognize what I'm writing is not crafted well, but that's not the point. The point is just to tell the story, and then later we can craft it well. Anyway, Steek, how'd that sprint go for you?
Went well. I read on the craft book that I'm gonna talk about on Tuesday. So
Talking about craft, nice. Do you want to shout out what book that is?
it is 2,000 to 10,000: How to Write Faster, Write Better, and Write More of What You Love.
Oh,
Perfect. Wow.
yeah.
Perfect. And
So
I'll
on
be joined
brand.
by Miss Americana, the Heartbreak Prince,
Nice.
which is her
I love
project,
that
I guess. It is a serve. And we're going to talk about this.
Lovely. What time on Tuesday?
7 p.m. my time. I think it's like 1 p.m. your time-ish.
So then
Yep.
that'll be 11 p.m. my time. 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Yep. Excellent. And Devesha, how'd you do?
I did my closing. Nope, my opening duties. So I took the dog out. I made my coffee, straightened up.
Nice. Katie?
I have a puppy, so I got him
Mhm.
settled finally. I
Mhm.
changed into a tank top because it's already 80 degrees outside and it's
Oh.
so warm.
Oh,
And then I posted to Instagram and thank you. And then started to plan out my content because I don't have, that's the last post I had planned. So
how's that fast draft going, babe?
I haven't started yet, but I want to just get some admin stuff out of the way first, so I don't have to worry about it. It's not on my brain.
That's fair. All right. Another great entry into the 5 words or less. We have my OTP is killing me. And we're gonna let OTP be 1 word.
Yeah.
Homemade brain rot, also good. Love it. This is so funny to me, your reticence to participate in this assignment, Mars, because you literally are a poet. Like so much of poetry is about creating creative ways of expressing a sentiment within a certain predetermined structure. So I find your hesitation here very strange. Mom says ideas blooming like overgrown weeds. I love that. Gay says, can I think anything else? Oh, you guys, these are all so good. I'm obsessed. Wendy says, if I'm being fully honest, I have the opposite problem of brain rot at the moment, which is none of my story ideas are haunting me enough. That's been me for, been a while. Hello, Morgan. Hi, Nina. Welcome. Today we're talking about brain rot. Good morning. I have my coffee, but I cannot promise much productivity just yet. That's fair. Nina needed the extra time, so that was good. As did Devesha. Perfect. Here's my coffee. Hasn't finished brewing yet. The brain rot wins again. It is. I'm going to be so interested to see how long I can keep this train going. Like, I know this fast draft is for 3 weeks. But I have no idea if this fervor will last that long. That's the thing, which is why I'm trying to start off strong because I just want to see how far I'm going to get with it,
Awesome.
It says, guys, you'll never believe what just happened during the brain rot stream, brain rot Pomodoro timer. What? Oh, hold on.
They probably had some brain rot.
The brain rot? Well, you might have guessed. Oh, that's awesome. Mel sketched 3 comic panels. Jessica, 187 for the 20-ish minutes I've been here. Fantastic. I had some crackers and then did some brainstorming. Okay, great. Mom says, I keep logging into the wrong Insta account. So Katie, all 3 of my Instas have picked your posts. That's funny.
Thank you.
Okay. Here's my entry for brain rot in 5 words. Immediately heading to angst. That's amazing. I love that. That's so funny. Thank you for participating. Oh, right.
Wait, I have mine. I made one. I made some.
Let's hear it.
One is fuck publishing, indulge in stupid.
Nice.
And the other one is no stress writing, just indulge.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Steve or Devesha, do either of you have a attempt? Offer?
I've never had no brain rot. There you go.
That's just a lie though. So
What is brain rot to you? Can I get a definition? Because
Oh,
I
no.
think we're
That's
thinking
what this
about
is. That's what this is.
What is it to you?
I literally talked about it earlier today. That's what everybody's doing, is talking about what brain rot is. And that's like happens to me literally all the time. It literally
To
happens to
me?
me all the time. Anyway, Devesha, do you have an entry into the 5-word?
Nothing original. All I can think is club, party, bus, another club.
That works. That's worse. Oh my god. That's so good. Gay says, if I manage to focus on my statistics this week, I will try to fast draft High Story in July. Fingers crossed. Lovely. I'm rereading my current project to remember where I was going. Like, it cannot be that hard, right? People who fast draft, is it hard? Honestly, I'm not feeling it hard right now, but that's just because I'm in a certain type of mind way. I don't think you can force it. That's the thing. Like, I decided to fast draft this because I felt it that I was going to be able to fast draft. But if I was trying to fast draft a story that I didn't think I could fast draft, I don't think it'd be easy. Yeah, everybody's doing amazing. It's almost like we're all writers. Brainrot synopsis and character list that stream. Nice. No brainrot, only brilliance, I wish. Oh, of all these definitions are fun. I know, I agree. Brainrot for the win. I agree. All right, is everybody ready for our first question? It's actually a 3-parter, so get ready. Stieg, you are in the hot seat once again.
Sizzling.
Here we go. How do you deal with brain rot? Do you indulge or try to mitigate? At what point do you promote it to full project? And do not say you've never had brain rot, sir, because the 3 of us are witnesses to your brain rot.
Okay, what's my brain rot then? Because I don't know.
Literally, the
Your
Cowboy
brain-
Project.
Literally
was
a
brain rot.
cowboy book.
It was never a brain rot. It was an idea I had, and I'm like, I don't want to work on this fantasy book, so I think I'm going to put that aside and work
That's
on
literally brain rot.
That is not brain rot. That is having an ID.
No, Project
No.
Sunflower. Also brain rot. This is your process, Steve. I'm going to answer this question for you. How do you deal with brain
Okay,
rot?
then why am I here?
Yeah, because you. why are you here? Because you never participate in good faith. Okay, this is the answer.
I've never had brain rot. You can't tell me what I feel, Wallace.
It's not true.
You literally have been like, I need to finish my book, but this other book is in my brain. Do I switch them? And for a long time, we were like, no, push through on the other project because you have to push through. Because whenever it gets hard, you think of another project you want to work on.
That to me is not
Finally.
brain rot.
Yeah, it is. Well,
Well,
what's
then
brain
what
rot
is
to you then?
Brain rot to me is like, oh, I have this silly ID that I should indulge in.
No,
Is that not the cowboy book?
No, it's very much not a silly ID. It's just a project ID
I
I
have
had.
literally heard you say it's silly because it's Cowboy
I mean,
Monster
yeah,
Hunter.
facetiously, but like it's a story in itself.
Sure.
Just because it's silly doesn't mean it's not a story.
This is interesting. I'm wondering if what's happening here is a breakdown in. I mean, it literally is because you keep asking for definition. But this is like a little side anecdote. But my dad always gets really mad whenever I call myself an introvert because when he was growing up, introvert was like the word people use for someone who's like really socially awkward, really shy. And so he always thinks that I'm deprecating. I'm being self-deprecating whenever I call myself an introvert. And so it's like really offensive to him. And I'm wondering if that's why, Stieg, you're being so reticent to like indulge.
I don't think brain rot is an offensive ID. I just don't think I have brain rot.
Well, then as your 3 mirrors, I'm going to say that from our definition of brain rot, you have a classic brain rot pattern. That is what I have noticed. I believe that's what Katie has noticed. I believe that's what Devesha has noticed. So let me rephrase the question for you, Steve. How do you deal with a new idea when you've already committed to working on something? Do you indulge that new idea or do you try to mitigate? At what point do you promote this new idea to full project?
If I feel like the project is growing out of my hands, I'll just archive it and then work on a new idea that I feel like is simpler.
So it's less about the new idea for you and more about the old idea.
Yeah, like I thought, I've always had this thing where I want to write like a single point of view standalone. That's going to be my first book because I need to get that out of my system.
Mm.
And all my projects start out as that, but then they grow because the story grow.
Mm.
But this story hasn't grown, so this is just a single point of view standalone, and I feel like I don't know. No further questions, Your Honor.
You mean no?
I have a
further-
question.
Okay, go for it.
You wouldn't consider the recurring idea to turn the short story into a full novel, Brainrot?
Nope.
Why?
Because it's just an idea I have for a novel. It's not Brainrot. It doesn't consume me. It doesn't take away like any focus that I already don't have on my current project. Like I'm not itching to write it. I'm just like, oh, that'd be fun.
Okay.
It's like, you know what, that TikTok meme thingamajig when girls go shopping, they pick up a thing like, oh, I love this, and then they put it back. I feel like that's me with my ideas.
Okay, but that's not the way you present your ideas to us. You present them with like
Yeah.
a kind of fervor that is Brainrot-esque.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then maybe we just have different definitions. I don't know. I am passionate about my projects, but I don't consider them brain rots.
I have a question, and I'm not trying to be rude or offensive with this question. Like,
Okay,
trust me,
go, Kitty, be rude.
I'm asking you to take this question in good faith, which is what I'm asking it as.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not trying to roast you. Genuinely, that's just my disclaimer. Are you ever itching to write, though?
I mean, sometimes.
Okay.
What does itching to write look like for you, Stieg?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to write.
Can you put it into more descriptive terms? Like what is your physical,
Oh, I want to write now.
like what is you are being inherently non what's the word? Like engagement, like here. Like you
I don't know what to tell you.
What does it
I just don't have the same passion for writing like you do, and that's okay. We're all on different journeys.
okay. That is okay, but at least have passion for hanging out with your friends and trying to ask questions, like, and answering the questions. Like my question here is, what does it feel like for you? Like a very therapist question, like I get asked all the time, like, what does my anxiety manifest as like a physical feeling? And that's actually really hard to answer. But if I were to ask that question for you, what does the desire to write feel like in your body?
I like inspiration. I think about it. I'm like, oh, this would be fun, or this would be fun, or take notes, working on the Scrivener structure.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't get hyperfixation, and I can't explain that.
But so I guess here's my question. If you feel like you don't have the same passion to write as the three of us do, and again, this question is asked completely in good faith, what has kept you writing for the 4 years that I've known you?
Because I like it.
But to me, that's passion to continue. Because think about your cross stitch, right? Think about all your other hobbies where you do something, you complete it, and then you move on. Like what's another hobby you've kept for this long?
Gaming.
Okay.
I think I get it, though. I don't know what you'd be obsessed with in the way that, like, I know I'm obsessed with writing. I think about it all the time. It's all I ever want to do.
I've
But,
never
like,
disappeared into my work. I've never had the I could never do a 10K day. I could never do oh, I'm gonna fast draft a novel. I just working on it now and then. I control my ideas. My ideas don't control me, like Anna said.
Okay.
I never have this overwhelming itch to write something.
But see, that's so interesting because as Devesha has said, you have claimed in the past to us that you do have said overwhelming itch. And that's one of the reasons why you move from project to project. That like the reason.
No, I don't think so.
Really?
If I can push back
I've
on
had
that.
3
I think
projects for the 3 years. I don't feel like that's moving between projects a lot.
No,
I'm
and I
not
feel like
saying you do it
Stieg
a lot.
moves from a project when it
Mhm.
becomes not fun for him anymore, and
Mhm.
like it becomes a barrier to doing something that he enjoys doing, right?
But in my memory, it's always, oh, I don't want to work on Project Sunflower. I just want to work on the cowboy project. Like that's the idea is the want to.
Yeah, but it's
other
less.
To me, it's
of-
like, oh, this is going to be a multiple point of view duology. I'm not capable of writing this, so I'm going to put this aside, work on something simpler, because my ideas always are simpler. The longer I the sci-fi novel is like a 3-piecer, 3 point of views, like this epic space opera, but I'm not capable of writing that. So I'm like, okay, I'll start this other initially thought standalone, but then that's like several books and several point of views too. And then I'm like, okay, still not capable of this. So I'm just gonna, I don't know, work on this cowboy story, which is very simpler, not thematically, but like in its structure and in its like, because my sci-fi and my fantasy both are like, these epic political, like multiple point of views, pieces moving, like big projects, while my cowboy story is very much more like a personal journey, not in terms of like, well, also in terms of like emotional and thematics and stuff, but it's like a contained story. It happens within a week, and there's a clear set goal, and the goal isn't world peace. The goal is just find my missing nephew. So yeah.
So I guess my kind of, well, first of all, thank you for that answer. But then my follow-up to that is, why do you write?
Because I enjoy it. I enjoy telling stories, not necessarily writing it itself, but
that's the thing, is that you're not like telling stories.
In my brain, I am.
So you enjoy telling stories to yourself. You enjoy that active creation of having the thoughts and then getting them onto into the physical world, expressing them in that way.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think that's legitimate.
I think I understand. Thank you for explaining more.
Yeah, that was very insightful.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
All right.
It was mostly just Wallace saying stuff and I saying yeah. So
that is not true. You gave some really good in depth after Katie and Devesha came in and asked their more like their follow-up questions. No, I was kind of going against the rules of interviewing, where I had an expected answer from you, and so I was trying to put it into your mouth, and you were like, do not put words into my mouth, please. Thank you. So that was my bad. All right. I'm going to go into, oh my gosh, there were so many amazing answers. Okay. Here we go. Malin says, I think this is the first one. Malin says, I write in my big Notion gallery of ideas and let it go. Then every time I think more about it, I go back to add more. And the ones that get constantly filled equals the next project to work on. I like it. See, well, anyway, I'll wait until it's my turn to answer. I am a Brainrot indulger, and it gets promoted to full project when it gets drafted, because at that point it can be added to the normal rotation. I'm sorry, you draft things and still don't consider them full projects?
It gets full project when it gets drafted. Like it gets like they start to draft it and then it gets promoted.
Oh, right, I thought it was saying like
that's how I read it too, Kate.
Oh, okay. I thought it was saying once Mars has like a draft, they're like, okay, now this is a project. Like
I also interpreted it that way, Wallace.
Okay.
Well, Mars, let us know which interpretation is correct, or are none of us correct?
Which, I was so scandalized by this, but at the same time, like, it does make sense for me to be, because I'm literally planning on drafting an entire story right now, but I don't consider it a full project. Like, it has its name, it has its project title, Project Down Bad, but I don't consider it like a legitimate project, Mm-hmm. Jessica says Brainrot is the inability to work on something because you only want to work on something else. Yep.
Never ever had that emotion.
But again, that's Jessica's emotion. Like, I think I could work on Tornado Blondes right now, but it would just be that I would prefer to be working on Project Down Bad. That's where, for me, Brainrot, I think my best definition, and I'm going to break my own rules here because I can't do it in 5 words, but it's the idea of where the creative is flowing. I can brute force myself to do research for Tornado Blondes, to work on something else, but it's going to be like pulling teeth. It's going to be difficult. It's going to require discipline. With Down Bad, we just had less than a 30-minute sprint and I got over 800 words, right? So just barely over. It was like 803, but still, there's a flow of creativity happening that is very natural. And to me, that is Brainrot, when it's like, it just comes so naturally. Malin is saying, no, silly idea is a small seed of Brainrot, and then the idea comes back and keeps on haunting you, and then it's full Brainrot. I do think the idea of being haunted by it is a good element too.
Okay, never been haunted by any of my projects, but
like you are, though, because like Devesha said that the each project keeps coming back to you. You keep thinking about it, even if it's not on the same level of intensity as we might experience haunting. Like those stories stay with you, they stick with you. You think about how they could evolve. You think about how they could grow. I think that in and of way is a kind of haunting. Maybe you have become comfortable with your ghosts, but they are still haunting you.
Very, very like.
Whoa! What a fucking statement! Oh, I love that. Put that in a book.
But mine, I feel like mine is like when you're at home and it's dark and you hear something and you're like, was that a ghost? Like that's my projects. While some people have like full on poltergeists.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think my point still stands though. But I understand you.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. I think it's a spectrum of intensity, right? I think you still do get brain rot, but it's just on the more normalized version of the spectrum, right? You know, maybe this is a mental illness you don't have.
But I wish I had. I think it was Sale who said maybe I'm not as neurodivergent as some other people.
You are.
That's why you always say that you want my mental illness. Because
Yeah.
my mental illness is intense brain rot.
It's that hyperfixation. Gay says, I do not deal with brain rot. It deals with me by being insanely annoying, and I just let the words go like an exorcism. Only more demons come in somehow.
You should keep opening the gate.
Imagination time. Indulge until it withers when I cannot focus on my current active projects. I think is addressing each of those points. So how do you deal with brain rot? Is imagination time. Do you indulge? Yes, until it withers. And then at what point do you promote it? Is when I cannot focus on my current active projects. Yeah. Gay says, I don't have full projects unless I do at least 2 sessions of brain rot. So 2 to 3 months of insane and genuinely obsessive snippet writing and planning. So, oh, wow. That's amazing. Nina says, I think everyone knows I always indulge in the brain rot. I way too often promote it in my full project too soon. That's funny. You know, I think Katie, I think you can commiserate with this a little bit. This idea of having something that catches your attention like flash paper, right? And it's so bright and it's all you can look at and then it's just gone. But in that moment of ignition, you're like, hey, everybody. And then it's gone.
I know. I'm trying to be better about not doing that, to be honest. But
yes. Hi, just showing up, Lindsay. Hello. So brain rot is shiny new idea indulgent. Yeah. I guess is brain rot not like a common term? Is it just our community thing? Is it a Katie thing? Katie,
It is not what it means in the rest of the internet.
Oh.
what's it mean on the
What does
rest
it mean
of
on
the
the rest of the internet?
Brain
Because it
rot
means
is
the
like
same,
when you have opinion. Because if you're like part of a niche community, you like it's very much like an echo chamber, right? So brain rot are those like silly ideas you get when you're in an echo chamber. At least that's how I've interpreted it. Yeah, like your opinions and thoughts and like kind of language that you experience when you're in an echo chamber, and that's kind of brain rot because it rots your brain.
I think I must have appropriated it because I definitely started using brain rot when I was working on Cruel Summer, and I started Cruel Summer because I was like, it's captured my brain and won't let go and just keep circling.
I think the like common Tumblr fanfic definition is the definition that Katie and we are working with, and that's what I'm familiar with.
Okay.
Not with whatever echo.
There's a WikiHow page.
Huh?
Wow.
Says Malin said there's a WikiHow page, so
There's a WikiHow on how to brain rot.
Wow.
Send it my way.
Oops. You made me lose my place. Steve, who did that? Okay, we're here. Wendy says, if I'm in a current project that I really want to get done, I usually just try to write down the basics of the new idea and put it aside. Yeah, I'm very lucky with this timing that this brain rot entered my brain. Like, what would we say? 6 days before my copy edits were due. And that was okay because I literally could just get my copy edits done and then turn my full attention to brain rot, because I don't know what I would have done if I had had brain rot during developmental edits. That would have been tough. Mars says, I feel you, Stieg. The obsession is a key point in whether or not something is brain rot. Okay. So yeah, maybe Stieg just inherently doesn't have brain rot, but we can go back to the original like author tube language of shiny new idea, because I do think Stieg gets shiny new ideas, and maybe that's the two end of the spectrums, right? If you have a shiny new idea, but it's not like taking over your complete life the way Brainrot takes over your complete life, then it's just shiny new idea, you know?
I have like 4 ideas for novels, and that's it. So
But they come to you. Like, you know, you didn't have the cowboy book at the same time that you were thinking about Project Sunflower. Like that book, that story came to you. I mean, literally a month ago, I was like, I'm never going to come up with a new story idea again. It's just the continuation of Tibifoe and then Holic Rising and Tornado Blondes. No other story ideas are in front of me. And now here we are, right? So, and it's not a good story idea, but it's fun. It is fun. Okay, I think I've gone through enough now to move on to Devesha. Would you like to share your answer to this?
How I deal with brain rot? I like to start off I have a Scrivener file that's like a comprehensive list of all my ideas that haven't, reached full project. I call it the Big Book of Thoughts. So I start there. I make it a little page. And then I try to indulge as much as I can because, like, a lot of time, once the spark is gone, it's gone. So, like, if I've got it, I'm trying to harness it while I've got it. And then at what point do you promote it to a full project? I say when I have at least, like, 2 out of the 3 acts outlined, then I promote it to a full project. But that's often my downfall because Act 3, man, Act 3. Maybe I should wait till the whole thing is outlined before I promote it to full project.
When was the last? Oh, sorry, go for it.
Well, hold on. I have a question. Because, sorry, I'm trying to formulate my thoughts because I would think that outlining a project would mean that it's a full project because you're like taking it from like the idea stage into like a physical, like seeing if it holds water, basically. Does that not make? And if it does, like if you. I feel like I guess maybe it's just a different process because I feel like if I get to the outlining stage, I'm like, oh, this holds water because I clearly can think of more than 3 plot points.
No, I would say maybe like my outlines, like what I'm thinking of an outline is different than what you're thinking of an outline. Because like with the middle grade that I wrote, that like the outline came to me like pretty much all at once, like the events of the story, but I didn't have any of the world building. So I transferred it to full project when I knew the events that would happen. But there was still like world building to do. So it wasn't like what am I trying to say? It wasn't like there was nothing left for me to explore. There were still other things for me to create up.
Oh, I think I get it. I think we do reverse. So you do it like that. I think I do the brainstorming first and then move to the outline. I think we do the same thing, just different things.
In reverse.
Okay. In reverse. I love it. Oh, that's fun. That's interesting to me.
Devesha, when was the last time you felt you had like real brain rot?
Real brain rot? Ooh. I want to say when I came up with, actually, no, definitely the middle grade. When I came up with the middle grade, that was like true definition of brain rot because it just came so easily. Everything after that has been pulling teeth.
How far did you get into the middle grade again?
I finished it. It took me a while to finish it because it wasn't my main project. I was also working on the first space opera. So I had it as my like secondary project. So it took me longer to finish, but I finished it.
Do you think you'll ever return to it?
Maybe yes, because I don't think I am a middle grade author. I think I want to like age it up to like YA maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I have shoot. Just from a timing perspective, I'm going to ask what was potentially going to be a future question because I really think this is going to be the only question because we're going to do another spread and then maybe say goodbye because I do got to cut this session short and we still have to get through Katie and my answer in all the comments. But Devesha, I do want to know, have you ever tried to bring about brain rot?
No.
To invoke the muses is the way I like to call it.
No, I haven't. I mean, sometimes I'll like put on a playlist and sit down and like, let's play an imagination, but I don't think I wouldn't define that as evoking brain rot, you know? It's like, oh, what could I come up with in the moment? But yeah, I haven't tried to force myself to like cling to an idea on the same level as a brain rot project.
And do you even think that's possible? Or do you think it is just a gift that occurs?
I think it's just a gift that occurs. I'm very anti-authority, even when it's my own authority. Like, you can't tell me what to do. You can't make me.
That's legitimate. All right, Jessica says, I try to mitigate brain rot by taking a set amount of time to work on the outline, and then I go back to what I was working on. And yes, Nina was calling me out. You're right. I totally piled on Stieg. Very unprofessional of me as an interviewer. My apologies to Stieg. But I thank you, Miranda. There was an inherent defiance to the way he was answering questions initially with those one-word answers that irk me. Ugh. Anyway. Yeah, and that's fine. Stieg just doesn't experience the hyperfixation. And something about what we said made gays realize they needed a therapist. I also do not experience brain rot. I'm with you, Stieg. I control my ideas. My ideas don't control me, sadly. My body, Sayla's body, literally vibrates when they have a brain rot. Oh, part 2 of Jessica's answers. If I'm writing a series, I'll finish whatever book I'm on and then work on the brain rot idea, because if I can't leave the current book unfinished, cough, cough, Project Gods, cough, cough. That's amazing. Jessica, how many books have you written? Call it. Elena says, I used to let myself indulge and spend one day on it, but I find that makes my current project less enjoyable. So now I put it into my Shiny Things page on Notion and work in it only on Sundays. Oh, that's not a bad structure. Mayhaps Stieg is not as neurodivergent as the rest of us. Look, we're all just neurodivergent in our different ways. You know, everybody is, which in a weird, comforting way means no one is. Laura says hello. Hi, Jessica, or Jessica saying hello to Laura. Flora says, usually things that are brain rotty for me aren't things that I want to write. I more so just want to let them live in my brain. Story ideas I do want to write have to grow a bit slower and steadier. Mars says, it's like the act of drafting is what makes it a full project. Maria says, has anyone ever had one element of their story become a brain rot? Because that's my issue right now. What?
Interesting. Tell me more.
Hello? I don't know. I'm assuming this is something I said to Stieg that was a little rude. My apologies.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
That's a
Go back to Miranda's comment though. Sorry, I was just thinking about it. It took me a minute to get there.
Yeah.
This does happen to me, but usually I then write a one shot or a novella about that idea and then just move on.
Or you just put 11 other books into your current book.
That's what I was gonna say. Or, you know, you make it a whole universe.
No, but there's a difference between being obsessed with like a concept to me and being obsessed with like characters, because my books are very character driven, and like when I'm obsessed with a character,
not just the concept.
Yeah, no,
it's not an
characters
element.
are different. Characters, I feel like, are a bigger thing. Like character goes into like the world, the building, like the story, the atmosphere, like, you know, they're the building blocks upon which that happens. But like, I think of, you know, just having a concept, like, you know, I wanted to write a, I don't know, like a one night stand thing. Like if you want to do that, like, and how that would play out. Like, I think that would be like a novella or a small short story to me. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
It makes sense.
I think I get it. Feels like a one shot vibe. Anyway.
Miranda replied, but no, it's too big of a portion of the book that I can necessarily exercise it with a one shot.
That's fair.
I need more context. What's going on, Miranda?
Yeah, me too.
Please call in. Mullen is
more.
quoting me. Maybe you're comfortable with your ghost, but they're still haunting you. Yeah, put it on a t-shirt. Also, can see this in a T-Swiss song. Oh my gosh, I'm honored. Thank you. Laura says, my ADHD makes me want to project hop. I get to a problem in a story and switch so I can percolate and still be productive. I go where the brain rot flows usually if I can't hold it off for more than 2 days. Honestly, I think there's something to this because like they always said on standardized tests, if you got to a problem that you knew how to do, but then you got to a place where you were just stuck, like you had a brain stop, they always said to move on and work on other things. And your brain, part of your brain would still be working on that one thing in the back of your head. And so once you were done with the rest of that section, go back and see if your brain had solved it while you're working on the other stuff. And so, yeah, brain rot is so interesting to me because it is this balance between discipline and creative freedom, right? Because we want to be disciplined. We want to finish the projects we're working on, et cetera, but also why try to, when you have this energy flowing in one direction, why do all the work to try and reharness it when you could just work on a project seamlessly, you know? It is interesting.
Well, you can have the same experience 100 times, or you can have just 100 times the experience, if that makes sense.
Well, I need you to elaborate on that statement.
Like, if you just go where the creative flow parentheses TM takes you, you know, you just say you jump projects. So you start on a project and you start on a new project and you start on a new project and you never finish. All you're getting is like the same experience 100 times. Mm-hmm. Instead of just finishing like say 100 projects and getting like building that experience instead of just reliving an experience. Does that make sense?
It does, but at the same time, and granted, I do think that eventually once Brainrot gets promoted to a full project, it takes dedication to finish. I agree. But I think though that by ignoring Brainrot, for me, this is all just for myself, I should say this. Like, for example, what's a good example? I'm going to go with Tornado Blondes, even though it's not the best example because it really does require a ton of research. But back in 2019 is when my house got hit by the tornado. Back in 2022, I don't know, guys, when did I start talking about Tornado Blondes? Anyway, it was in full, it was brain rot. I was obsessed. I had a playlist. I would listen to it. I would envision it. I did it right. And then I was like, okay, but I can't write this right now. I have to focus on the project that I was about to go on submission with. And I was like, this requires a ton of research, right? And I just know though that there are moments where it comes back to me as my interest is piqued in it. I get these moments of creativity with it where it's like there's creative flow there, but it's no longer brain rot because it's been with me for so long, you know? And so there's a part of me that wonders if I'll ever actually write it because I never have that jump start that brain rot gives you into a story, that momentum that you can see through all the way to the end, you know? Even when it gets difficult, you already have such a big chunk of it written because you wrote it during the brain rot that it then makes getting to the end easier, you know?
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense.
It makes sense. I just think we have different experiences.
That's fair. Okay. I think Miranda says Steek is thinking specifically like TikTok brain rot. Okay.
That could be it.
People are saying that on Tumblr, brain rot is how we're interpreting it, I think. Outside of fandom, creatives, I've heard brain rot being intellectually unstimulating entertainment, like staying up late at night watching reruns and commercials. So technically what we call brain rot is plot bunnies. Yes, I've heard that was when I first joined AuthorTube. That's what everybody called it, was the plot bunny.
Also, brain rot makes no sense in terms of like terminology because something rotting is just that withers away.
Again, but a lot of things don't actually make sense linguistically, but they are what
I mean, yes, this was just a social commentary, but like it would be more as a brain tumor, but then I don't like those vibes either.
Well, the thing with brain rot, and I think maybe Miranda was the one that came up with this like eons ago, but when your brain rots so much, like, and I always think about this with Cruel Summer. Like, yeah, I had brain rot to begin with, like with Cruel Summer, and that's really what inspired it. But then as the brain rots, you know, you then get this like soil that from which something worthwhile can grow. So like brain rot is like the fertilizer that is needed in order for your ideas to become something that's much bigger, as Cruel Summer did for me. It's kind of how I think of it.
Brain compost.
Yeah. It's like you're composting the ideas into something more big. this metaphor is falling apart, but it's okay.
No, I
So
don't think that's okay.
it's the house that I have brain rot in. It's just falling apart. Because I just think of like black mold. That's brain rot to me.
Oh, I have my 5-word definition of brain rot.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm going to be embarrassed if this isn't 5 words. The muses have cursed me. What do we think of that?
Oh, I love that.
Good.
I like it. Or you could also go with the muses have blessed me, but I do feel like like right now I feel blessed to have brain rot, even though I should probably be working on something that makes more sense in terms of my publishing career. But it's just I'm enjoying writing at this level again. And as Lindsay said, giving into brain rot sounds dangerous for TradPub/Deadline folks. Calling out myself for the outlining I've been doing for my Cozy Grandma D&D adventure. But see, I think Lindsay, I think that's Katie's point, is that who says this can't be something? Not to be overly indulgent, but
Yeah.
who says it can't be something?
I want to slightly push back on the plot bunny thing. It's plot bunny equals brain rot. I think plot bunny is the beginning of brain rot.
Yeah.
I think it evolves into brain rot.
Yeah.
Like you can have like a plot bunny of like just like, you know, I want to write about tornadoes. Like that would be the plot bunny.
Right.
But then as it evolves into being like, I want to explore this theme, I want to have this happen, like that becomes the brain rot. I feel, at least, like in my own personal definition of it, which again, all of this is not real and doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. Grayson says, I think I have a sense for when an idea is book material or wouldn't stand the test of outlining. The book ones I ruminate on until they're sticky in the brain, and then I take notes on it. Miranda says, if Katie considers Brainrot like playlists and mood boards.
It's like a few steps past brain rot.
I'm so sorry. Excuse me?
Excuse me?
Excuse?
What are we doing with these books, Jessica? Are these being
I
published?
think Jessica's shared very much books in the Discord, has she not?
Please share again.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's incredible, first of all. Damn, Jessica. That should be...
She is prolific.
That is amazing. I feel like I'm going to have this enter my lexicon. Anytime anybody does something impressive, I'm just going to be like, damn, Jessica.
Damn, Jessica.
It's my hastily said. All right. Wow. I am obsessed with exercise in this context. Like, that's exactly what it feels like. Get the demons out so we can focus on. I feel like I remember you making that tornado blonde Scrivener file when you were in Florida. Oh, maybe. Yeah. I also would like to know how is that possible? But mold and mushrooms are still active cultures. My ideas are mushrooms. They thrive on the rot. I love it.
I love it.
You can take the farmer's daughter off the farm, but you can't stop her from making an agricultural metaphor, I guess. As my dad would say, good, clean dirt. How about the muses are pissed at me, question mark? I love you. But that's how I feel when the brain rot leaves, right? And I'm just left with, 30,000 words in a project that now I need to see through. And then I feel like the muses have abandoned me. And I become very petulant. That's why I definitely thought of it as story ideas that are like fan fiction, which has value, but it's not going to get you published. Brain rot, that is. But here's my thing. I think it's a fine line to walk. I think for me to feel comfortable in my brain rot, this has always been my process, I just have to tell myself that it's either just for me or just for my sister or something like that. And then you create something that then you assess and think, okay, but what if, So the muses have a warrant out for my arrest. I also love that.
Not for...
Yeah.
Put on a t-shirt.
Jessica says, I've published 2 of them because I need to go in and revise and edit the second draft and such. These are all first drafts, but still incredible, amazing.
Ain't nothing only about that, Jessica.
You are iconic. Amazing. All right, Catherine.
How do I deal with brain rot? Short answer, I don't. I just let it happen.
That's a way of dealing with it, is letting it happen.
Yeah. I do tend to indulge. I think my process is similar to what other people have said, where I don't have a big book of ideas, which is brilliant. Maybe I should, but I do open up a Google Doc and basically like put like what like Like I put like modern royals, sapphic werewolves, like whatever, and like just brain dump everything that I have for the books or book or whatever, and like put down what I'm like curious about, what the vibes I want to be. Like I've even done this for Sister Serpentine, where like I was putting down like what I was kind of going to try to work on, and then over time, if I feel like I've gotten to a point where I can kind of see the book in my head, like where there is a like there's a shape there. It's not just like amorphous things floating around. There's like connective tissue, and there's bones, there's muscle. Maybe it's not the whole thing, but
anatomy metaphor is giving me out, but I hear you. Yeah.
Then I make a Scrivener document, and once the Scrivener document is made, it is a real project, and that's how I define it, as a full project. Because I feel like if I get the ideas too soon into a Scrivener document, it suddenly feels scary. I'm like, oh, I don't have enough for this, and then the Scrivener document just kind of withers away. Yeah, exactly, Mullen. I'm out here playing Frankenstein.
Don't know why that's so
I'm sorry. I read that completely wrong. Please ignore me.
No, I'm gonna need you to elaborate.
I need the context.
Yeah,
I need more of that.
Just let us in on the bit.
I read that as just out of the corner of my eye. I read Katie out there playing with foreskin.
I hate that.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to say it, but you encouraged me to say it. That's what I.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Oh my god.
Sharing with the class. Thank you. No, I appreciate it. We did ask. No, and then gays. Well, maybe. Terrible.
Depends on the project.
Come back, my darling.
Anyway, yeah, so that's when it gets promoted to a full project. And then I start making mood boards and playlists. And that's when I feel like I indulge it. I still call it brain rot. My brain rot is more of the idea of like something that I am just indulging in that is not, super like something I don't consider something for publication, or like or like before wouldn't consider for publication. Now feel like I have more leniency, but because before I had an agent, my brain was like, I have to only work on things that are going to be marketable, that are going to be, have a high concept that I can sell to agents, that has, a lot of promise within the market. And now that I have an agent, I have less of that worry, but I still love using the term brain rot. So
that's fair. And then I'm going to ask you that same follow-up question that was meant to be question number 2, is the idea of and I know the answer to this already, but I'm going to let you speak on it. Unlike Stig, where I forced words into his mouth, and I'm still feeling really guilty about that, Stig. I apologize. Just the smug smile gets me. I hope you had sincere, Stig, that I should not have behaved the way I did at the start of the stream. I'm sorry. Katie, have you ever tried to invoke brain rot, invoke the muses? How did that go for you? Can you speak on it? And do you think it's possible to invoke the muses?
Did you ever take all your IDs and put them in a dragon egg?
I did. I've tried many a time to invoke brain rot. I've done that. I have literally written down the projects that I might want to work on and put them on my pillow and slept on them, and then pulled out one and unfolded it and was like, this is the one I'm going to work on. That didn't work. I've literally done tarot spreads for things. I've done everything known to man trying to invoke this kind of lightning in a bottle brain rot. And it's literally never happened. It's lightning in a bottle. It's a lightning strike on me where I'm like, okay, I can just brain dump just a story. Like brain rot, actually true brain rot is when I can open up a document and I can just immediately start writing, where I can just write I can just write, a prologue. I can write a first chapter. I can write things. I have like literal dialogue in my brain from the characters. And that has only happened to me twice.
Oh, twice.
Yeah.
One was summer, and the other one was the novella that I wrote last year. And so,
wait, what about the thing you wrote before Cruel Summer? Not right before Cruel Summer, but the year before Cruel Summer. You don't think that was brain rot?
That was definitely
actually. Oh, so three things. Yeah, so 3 things. Sorry, I forgot the brain rot before that.
So wait, here's a question then. out of the four of us, am I the only one who is actually currently actively in Brainrot? Like you don't consider your werewolf story Brainrot.
I think I just need a different term. Like, because I still consider brain rot something that's like it's like claws in my brain, you know. But like there is a like muses, like you are getting 800 words in 28 minutes. Like that is brain rot. Like I feel like we need another word for that portion of it, because I do feel like there is a portion of me that does have like, you know, my brain's just like, I am thinking so much about the werewolf book. I'm thinking so much about Modern Royals. I'm thinking so much about the other cool summer books. Like there are consuming my brain, and like I really want to write those, but I'm not at the point where I'm like, I could just vomit 50,000 words in 2 weeks. You know, like there's a difference. There's a hierarchy of brain rot where, you know, there is that lightning in a bottle brain rot, and then there's just like, I'm a writer and I'm hyperfixated and neurodivergent and mentally ill. Yeah, there we go, Sayla. There's brain rot and then there's channeling. Where the muses like astral projected into my body.
Yeah. Miranda says, if you can indulge in your brain rot and then take a critical eye to it and make it book shaped, that is a superpower. This is a reaction to the foreskin discussion.
You love it, Neon Moon.
He says, I usually start my ideas in Google Docs, and then as soon as I need side notes and secondary documents, that's when I move things into Scrivener. In French, we call that a lapsus révélateur, révélateur, aka a lapsus that reveals something about your own subconscious. Grape, haha. Oh, like a Freudian slip, like a lapse, a revealing lapse, a Freudian slip. I get it. There's also a freedom in calling a project brain rot. Yes. I agree, Miranda. It relieves the pressure, the same as, say, when Waltz goes, this is for his sister, when someone says this is just a fanfic. Yes, exactly. Literally, same Katie. I've tried invoking, but it just happens when it happens. And that's when we shine the most, is when we stop pressuring ourselves. Yeah, I agree with this. It sounds like every time I brain rot and do my little outline breaks. Brain rot is when you're like the ant with fungus that makes it a zombie. I do think then that maybe I think we're all experiencing it on different levels of extreme, because I will say, like, I do think I needed the fast draft challenge to get me to work on it on this level. Like, I still think I have a reticence to actually start working on the brain rot in the mornings on Project Down Bad. But like, because we were sprinting this morning, I started on writing it. Whereas like on other days, like let's be for real. When was the last time I was writing during a sprint? Other than, I mean, I've been doing edits and stuff, but like for the past.
You usually do admin.
Yeah. Normally during the streams, I'm doing admin stuff, but because we're in the fast draft, because it's part of the challenge, and because I inherently have an affinity for this story right now, I think once I start, I enter into that ease of the creative flow. But I don't know if I have it at this level of fungus and ant, like where it's just fully controlling you, you know? I don't think I have it at that level, but I do. Otherwise, it's just an idea you're working on. But I do feel like it's more than just an idea I'm working on, because I've worked on ideas before and it's harder to write. Those are harder to write than how easy it is for me to write this stupid alien story right now, you know? Mullen says, right, in Katie's definition, the Knights of Death was brain rot because it just overnight had an outline of 3.5 when I had never outlined before. I know Kate Kavanaugh is not here right now, but I firmly believe Kate Kavanaugh is currently brain rot. Because
yeah,
I don't know if people are watching her videos, but she has like written a 10,000 word outline for a story. She's just at the races. Like, she has run off into the wilds with her current project, and I'm very happy for her. Just calling it hyperfixation. That also works. Hello, is there a ritual to invoke brain rot? Because I could really use it. I've been trying, as my friends can attest to. I've spent the past 4 years really trying to witchcraft my way into figuring out how to invoke the muses. I'll let you know when I land on something that is consistently works. Yes.
I will also say that every time I've had that lightning in a bottle brain rot that has just been come out of me, every single time it's been fan fiction. So I don't think I could do it for original fiction as well.
I'm trying to think. I think I'm a mix. I think, No story is inherently original. I think all of my stories that I've ever told to myself can be traced back to a story that I've heard before, right? Like my first true love was Roswell, the 2000s, basically Twilight with aliens. Oh God. And so there's part of me that thinks like, well, this brain rot must in some form be originally connected to that, but I have no memory of how or whatever, because this is actually a story that it's a maladaptive daydream, right? That's lived in my head for years and years. But our brain rot is like when our dogs get the zoomies. Oh, that's so true. Oh my gosh. When I came home this weekend, little Kay literally saw me and then she started doing zoomies all around the house and I felt so loved. I felt so loved. I was thinking the fanfic thing, but didn't want to call you out. No, I mean, I think that's legitimate. Even Down Bad is also very Twilight coded to me. Well, then I haven't described it to you well because
it's not Twilight.
It's not Twilight. It's not Twilight. Not Roswell. Oh my God, aren't they obsessed with hot sauce? Yeah, and Snapple, sweet and spicy. Sweet and spicy. That's their vibe.
They got that sponsorship deal.
Yes, they did. I don't think I've ever written fan fiction that had to be fan fiction, like where it's mainly original characters. Like,
this confuses me.
I don't know.
I think they're saying that
song. Got it. Yes, the song Down Bad is Twilight coded, but my story is not Twilight coded. At least I don't think it is.
Yeah.
All right. Mars says, I think it's always been, I had an idea and decided to put it in a fandom instead of making my own framework for it. But the fandom isn't a necessary part. Yeah, I understand that.
Oh, okay.
Moon coded. Yes, we've talked about that. Okay. That's fair. That's legitimate. I am going to answer the question now. How do I deal with brain rot? In the past, I have not indulged it. I have tried to mitigate it because usually little moments of brain rot have come to me. And then, because for me, here's my thing. I do think brain rot for me, I have to think about if this is true or not, but I'm just going to say how I'm feeling in this moment. This is my truth in the moment, and it's potentially not correct if I were to actually analyze my behavior. But I think this specific instance is a data point in the affirmative of what I'm about to say, where I allow brain rot to become brain rot. I think for me, there has to be a certain amount of fostering that I do that allows an idea to really take me over. So for example, Tornado Blondes really was energetically in my brain and I was really thinking about it, but I was working on another story. So I put it off as something, I convinced myself of why I can't write it right now, right? I have to do all this research. I want to do it correctly. I want to, honor the tornado chasing community. I want to honor tornado victims and all that stuff. And so I can't just burp it out, right? Whereas for this story, I liked the idea of participating in this project with Katie. I liked the idea of doing the fast draft. I liked the idea of just trying to see from a place of curiosity after watching Lindsay's video. Hi, Lindsay, I'm going to call you out in a positive way of like, oh yeah, it takes me only like 3 months to write a draft of a novel. I was like, excuse me, how dare you make me feel so inferior? Just kidding. It was very inspirational and educational video, Lindsay. There was a part of me that was like, how fast could I do it? If I really was trying, if I was really trying, how fast could I do it? So I think I really stoked the flames of Down Bad, and it has now caught fire. It has now ignited into full brain rot. And so in a weird way, I did invoke the muses, but I don't think I could have done that with another one of my projects. Like, I don't think I could have gone back to Hellenic Rising and done this, Down Bad was already there as that's a fun thing, right? So this is my first time fully indulging brain rot. Like, as soon as it came to me, fully indulging it, fully stoking the fire, getting it going, right? So, but I will say, for me, something becomes a full project not when it has a Scrivener file, but when it has a project journal. And this is Down Bad's project journal. And look how perfect it is. I just had this. And look, there's literally a ladder going up into the clouds. It literally has a little playlist because Down Bad is inspired by a song. Like, oh, it's so perfect.
Wait, that's a ladder going into a cloud?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I fully thought that was a spaceship beaming someone up.
Well, but that's what you can tell yourself it is because it's like perfect.
Wow, I fully did not. I literally saw it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And just for some funds, I mean, we're gonna give people the vibes. Look at what I've done. We did face claims the other day.
Yes.
Look at this little scrapbook. Young Antonio Banderas, please abduct me. Good God.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is what for me is when I know a project is like real, is when I've made a project journal, I've committed to that like artistic element. Because that's another thing about making a project journal for me. It goes beyond just making a playlist and making a mood board on Pinterest, is that this is like creative hands-on time in which I do lots of brainstorming. I do a lot of outlining and plotting and understanding the vibes and the aesthetic of the story, because I want the aesthetic to be cohesive throughout the journal itself. So, Malin, you need to stop.
Never
Okay?
stop. No, stop.
Okay. Lindsay says stick figure drafts, walls, placeholders, fragmented sentence. But that's what I'm doing, Lindsay. You don't understand. I really should. You are such an inspiration for this fast draft experience, because this is really me trying to let go of the idea that I need to be artfully constructing my sentences even in the first draft, because that is always something that I'm doing, and it does make it slower. I think that's where the pulling teeth comes from. Not necessarily that the idea isn't creatively inspiring to me, but just the process of writing itself can be really creatively hindering, because I don't always have the energy in a moment to write the perfect metaphorical sentence, the perfect emotional capstone to this paragraph. So, like, for example, in this draft, I introduce one of the characters early on as a pothead poet, right? And that's like his little introductory line. And so then I'm thinking, okay, well, so then instead of having normal conversations with people, he needs to be pretentious and have like very poetical type sentences. Maybe he just quotes poetry, right? And instead of pausing every time and researching Keats, researching Byron, all this stuff, like what's the perfect quote for him to quote here? I've been putting poetry quote, and then I move on, and I have the people's reaction to his pretentiousness, but I don't have the actual quote. And I know that that means it will change if I do come back to this later, if I do make another draft, like, and then I go in and with these more intentional moments, that whatever his quote is, that will create ripple effects, right? That will change maybe his personality in my mind of what poet he actually cares about. Is he more of a romantic? Is he more of a, this is where I admit I don't know any other types of poetry other than romantic poetry, but other whatever. So Lindsay, I'm taking from your instruction, from your video, and that's how I'm doing it. And I feel like it really is making this draft go fast. Yes. Thank you, Lindsay. It feels so fresh and new to me while also being lightweight and not as pulling on my scalp. Oh, the new hair. Katie's new hair. Do you want to do a full show off? Yeah. How do I? Nope. Incorrect.
Nope.
Nope. How hold on. Thank you.
I just did it for you. Here you go. Take my headphones off so I can give you the full. But yeah, I've got a bunch of layers.
She get an undercut.
I have this like kind of fun streak of blonde in the front that she just did, and now I feel like I don't know, anime character or something. It's like the swoop or something. I don't know. Anyway,
I'm still petitioning for the undercut, Katie.
I know. I was too afraid to ask. I did get it really, really thinned out, so it's a lot thinner. It doesn't look thinner, and I got about 4 inches off. So.
How are the migraines?
Still experiencing some of them, but they're not nearly as bad because literally my hair feels so light, and I can actually put it up if it's bothering me.
Mm-hmm. Good.
She would be. I don't think I'm prepared mentally to be undercut Katie.
Yeah, Laura, I do this too. While as my brain is like, what's the purpose of writing sentences if I don't make them pretty and pushable to read? The difference between you and me, Laura, is that you just do it and you have incredible output. For me, it really slows me down. And so I have to come out. I have to try and rework this strategy. As Steve said, a paid actress. Yes. All right. I know I was going so fast. I know I skipped some people's comments. I'm really, really sorry. It was not my intention. Oh my gosh. Sayla says, Wallace, your ghost haunting quote in your productivity journal. Just an idea. Oh, that's interesting. But that quote doesn't fit for Down Bad. But at least not the first book in the series.
The series?
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I really wanted to have this done by 11 my time, so I am afraid that it is just a sprint and shop talk today. This is it. Anybody have any final things to say about Brainrot?
Can we see what the other questions were? Maybe we can talk about them in the cafe or the fiction section.
They were just in my head. So I've already asked, which is the idea of how do you try and evoke the muses? That was the big one. And then there was going to be a hypothetical third question that I was going to come up with during the next sprint, but I never did. So yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So we talked about it. I mean, the series is a sound.
There's been a lot of good ones to clip this one.
Yeah, I know. I keep meaning to do that like B where you can, we couldn't create a marker. Please try again. Well, that's rude. Anyway. All right. It's because this is not premium. Anyway.
I think we should try to come up with a ritual for how to invoke the muses.
I've been trying.
It's a lot of cocaine.
Oh God.
I've been doing my best, man. I've tried. If anyone has an idea that you want me to try to invoke Brainrot,
That's what you meant. If anyone has cocaine, hit me up.
I'll do anything except hard drugs.
I don't even know how to do it.
If anyone has an
in the
idea
cafe,
for invoking
come up with a ritual, everyone, or in the fiction section, whatever.
I snorted, not cocaine though. Stieg, any final thoughts?
No.
Devesha, any final thoughts?
That was my final thought.
Katie, any final thoughts?
Go ask me questions on my community tab for my 4-year YouTube anniversary. I'm filming a all-inclusive Q&A. You can literally ask me anything you want, and I will tell you. So please go ask me questions because I like having questions.
Wonderful. And my battery's at 5%. So bye.
Bye.